I've never done this before, and I'm bad.
Yeah. Have you tried the barbecue? It's pretty good.
No.
Which smothered food is my love language.
Just want to play devil's advocate, though.
80s hair metal, and it says, do you really want to taste it? That's what it, do you want to taste it? Well, I'll start. The type of smokers and grills that I have at the house are immense. There's a lot. There's some that work. There's some that don't work. But, you know, I started cooking on an offset style cooker. That's what we started cooking barbecue on. And so you have a firebox on one side, the body of the smoker, and exhaust. It's as primitive as it gets for cooking barbecue. And so I have a really, at this point, old, beat up, it was made out of a used oil pipe with pitted metal, and I welded it together, and it looks horrible, but it cooks some great food. It's won a couple barbecue contests here and there too, but I have that if I'm going to cook for a lot of people. And then we have a gas grill when you need to get something quick and fast for the family. And I think the other grill that I use the most is a gravity style smoker grill, and you can throw lump charcoal in it or briquettes in it and light it and set it to the temp, and you can low and slow smoke on it, or you can hot and fast grill on it. But those are the three that I probably use the most.
Oh, nice. Yeah. What kind of cookers in our yard? In my yard.
And remember, I have seen Brooke's yard, so I want to see if she answers, honestly.
Well, I mean, really, it's about every fuel source, right?
Sure.
So I have a couple of pellet grills that I love. I have, which is probably the thing I cook on the most, is just a charcoal 22-inch kettle.
Oh, 100%.
Just, that's my baby. And then, of course, I have a gas grill, which I don't use very often, but having two small children, it is real nice to crank it and get a sear real fast if I need to. Oh my goodness gracious. I have a couple of ceramics, Primo, Green Egg, and and then a couple of flat tops, because, you know, every now and then you got to throw a bunch of pancakes.
That's right.
A bunch of pancakes and eggs on a flat top, and I love a flat top. But I will tell you, I'm kind of like you. I have some that are that should have been retired by now,
Right.
but I'm emotionally connected to.
Yeah.
And then, you know, your go-tos. But I mean, a bag of charcoal and just a 22-inch kettle, and I'm good for that. But I really like all the different fuel sources, and it makes it easy. Like the pellet grills, really, for a family and something quick, makes it nice.
Awesome.
So what does Brad have in his backyard? Some people don't know, but I've got 5 kids. All of them with the same woman. Thank God. Hallelujah, people. Woo! All right, so I'm just going to rejoice in that. We could go ahead and cut the tape. The thing that brings our family together in my backyard is a bonfire. And we have a little bonfire pit with a grate that comes over the top, and we burn apple and cherry wood over it. So that's, we start the bonfire in the back, or it's just a fire pit, but that's something that all the kids come out in the yard, and that's what we're looking for. But of course, we have all the notorious pits of the pellet grills and the charcoal and the flat top. But if I want to have like a family meeting, I start a fire in the backyard, and that's what we do.
Well, I actually don't have a lot of grills and smokers, and that's probably because I just moved, so I sold a number of them. But I like your gravity grill. That's probably, if I'm doing long smokes or anything, that's what I'm using, and I love that because I can put lump, I can put briquettes, I can even put wood chunks. What I like to do, if you've never done it, just stick a split right in the middle, then surround it with briquettes. Yep. And I do all my pork bellies that you send me. I do all my pork bellies for bacon on that. But one thing I love, and this is going to end up turning into a plug, is the Brio fire pits. And they're made in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, in America. They're made well. They also make a 19 that I can travel with, because I'm on the road a lot, cooking at duck camps, at fishing camps, and so on. So I need something portable and something that I still like. I just don't like pellets. I don't like the way they taste or anything, so I don't even do them for the portable ones. But Brio makes a great one, and then they've they just now did this was add their whole rotisserie line to it, so I can do the live fire setup. I've been cooking on it all week, and like I don't know, I love it. It's a nice way to gather your family around a fire pit, pop in a post and a grill, and bet a cook on it, and it's really made to last in your backyard without any cover. And so, just for its dependability and practicality.
That's the word.
Practicality. The practicalness of it, it just works well for me. Although I do kind of miss being to just turn a propane bottle on and crank up gas grill. There is a lot of upside to that as well.
I think I have about 35 grills and smokers. I'm a collector. Not really, but it just happened. I have 2 ceramic grills, a reverse flow offset that's not a reverse flow. I do love the smokeless fire pits that you can cook put the rotisserie on. I love cooking chickens on those. Have one of those. I also have a taller fire pit. I'm really looking. I want to do a 12x5 fire pit and put a big rotisserie on that. But that's a work in progress. A pellet grill, gas grill. I've got some old hickories out there in case I need to crank out a lot because the neighbors show up. And, I've had the street blocked off or whatever. But I will tell you, my favorite grill is my Argentinian grill.
Oh, nice.
There is something about taking big logs and making your own charcoal and moving that charcoal underneath with pineapples and chickens hanging with a V-grate where, you're basting some steaks or whatever with an herb brush. I don't know. There's something very primal about cooking like that. And it's my favorite. I cooked on it last week for the first time this year. And I'm like, why don't I do this all the time? Well, because it's hard.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, if anything is going to teach you fire management, is
that.
that.
Oh, yeah. Well, my first grill, her name was Betsy, bless her heart. She was typical, fashioned out of an old propane tank. And Betsy was as cantankerous as they came. And you learned about fire management with cookers like that, because when you're moving the tongue of the trailer to figure out which way the wind is going to draft your smoker, you learn fire management. That's something that, in talking to a lot of cooks these days who are pellet grills, which I love pellet grills, but I've learned how to get flavor off of them.
Wait, was that a stab?
I literally cooked on a pellet grill once in my life. Okay. But like you say, it takes practice.
Well, it's not really practice. It's just knowing a cheat. And if you cook on, if you get lazy enough, you'll figure out a cheat. You'll make it work. So there's something about, just like we were talking about a gas grill, there's something about going out there and hitting the button and, sitting back and relaxing.
My thing about that, I just want to play devil's advocate though. We're talking about convenience.
Yeah.
But they're better grills for convenience. There's like the gravity grills, you have to put a starter cube and open up some vents, but it's the same convenience. So like, why not just use better fuel?
Okay, so devil's advocate to that. I have 3 gravity-fed smokers.
That's a good kind.
I have had a bridge happen with charcoal, especially if you're using lump instead of briquettes or briquettes that are too big. That grill was out, and I didn't even know it until the camera was rolling.
Okay.
And so at that point, you're screwed. As long as there's pellets in that hopper, you're not screwed ever. That chute, which they've gotten a lot better, and they're building the chutes at an inverted V shape now, as opposed to
you're right.
just a straight chamber.
That's why they do that. That's why they do that.
So it's not as easy to build a bridge. I taught you something.
Look at you.
I know.
I love it. That's why I'm here.
So yeah, but I don't care. I'm not a purist. I think there are a lot of ways to achieve great grilled or smoked food. And, whatever you like, whatever you want to do, if your mama wants to put it in a crock pot and that's what you think is good, I'm all for it.
I cooked in the crock pot last night.
Hey, man.
I don't even know where my crock pot is, but that's okay. Joking.
I've said this all the time. Number one, good food is good food. It doesn't matter where it's come from. But I also tell people when I teach classes, I said, the smoker does not determine my cook for the day, right? If you could have wind, you could fight it, you could move it, you could do something. But at the end of the day, I'm responsible for the meat coming off there. And you have to have that time, that experience to figure out what to do in those moments. And I tell everybody, I say, get to know your pit, whether you're cooking on a bullet style Weber Smoky Mountain or you're cooking on a 500-gallon offset propane tank. You know, you have to know what's going to happen when you load it up with wood and load it up with fire and load it up with meat. If you don't know what's going to happen, you're probably not going to have a good day behind the grill.
I have been forced, though, to cook on grills and smokers that I've never cooked on before. I mean, that's just what you have where you are. And I think it's how you handle those moments using experience from cooking on other things that really determines your cook. You know, we call them, and I don't know if I can say this, we call them moments. And if you hadn't had a few of those in your career, you know, then you may not know what to do, but we've all had them. We know, okay, this is what I need to do in order to achieve this, no matter what the grill is.
I mean, as long as you're cooking Prairie Fresh pork, it doesn't matter what you're cooking on, right? We just happen to have some very, very, we're opinionated about it, apparently.
Just a little.
Yeah.
This is a random question that kind of gets me on to knowing your smoker, knowing your product, right? Let's start with Melissa. How many ribs do you think you've cooked in your life?
Oh my goodness.
Millions.
Millions.
Yeah, right.
Literally.
And same with you guys, I'm sure.
Well, she's cooked more than we have.
Yeah, but when you talk, and Jean-Paul, how many briskets have you cooked? Like, you've cooked so many that that's what I tell people all the time is that we have put a lot of time in behind the smoker. And so we understand what happens when you load one up or you take stuff off or you need a little more fire. If you got a full pit, you need a little less if it's light. And those are the things people don't understand, that there's so much experience and knowledge that goes behind just the process of cooking that it's not always easy. We make it look easy sometimes, but at the end of the day,
I don't know that it's ever easy.
Well, people ask like, "Oh, you opened a barbecue joint? You know, that's pretty easy." And like, it is not. It is not.
You sure
like
about that?
This is something different. You know, so Mike Mills, one of my mentors, or probably all of ours, you know, I asked him like, "Oh, well, you know, how can I keep my fire? You know, how can I manage the fire more?" And he said, "Well, Brad, every time you go get a beer, throw some more charcoal on the fire, you know, or throw another stick on the fire." And
That's good fire management. I like
it
that.
is. I'm like, you know, I get that. It's that little reminder. But I mean, what a blessing that we all have, that we get to cook with fire and Prairie Fresh.